stop chasing your fears, man. It's dumb. Facing your fears, like, is honestly a waste of time. Because when you face your fear, you do something you're afraid of, you finally work up the courage and the confidence to do it, then you do it, and you're like, oh yeah, that's awesome. But then you're like, okay, I finally did it. You go right back to where you were. Where you go right back to the comfortable life you were living. And I don't actually mean facing your fears is dumb. What I really mean is facing your fears just to face them and then go back to the way you were living before you faced them is a complete waste of time. What are you doing? What you really should be doing is chasing your fears, building off that momentum, using that momentum to propel you, chase all your fears, and grow and become the person you never even thought possible, but become better than you ever wanted to be because you chased your fears. Like, you're in your current situation right now because you have an identity, and that identity is comfortable in certain situations, and you always seek those same situations so that you stay comfortable. But if you want to change, for example, if you want to achieve your dream physique, the version of you without your dream physique and the version of you with your dream physique are two different people. They're two different identities, two different people with different habits, different discipline, different routines, different everything. So if you want to become that person, you have to change your identity. Well, how do you change your identity? Not from being comfortable, because comfortable just means you're in your current identity. If you chase discomfort, aka fear, you become uncomfortable. And over time, you keep doing that, you become that new identity. That's why when people have to eat healthy and work out for the first time, it's always the hardest in the beginning. It's always the hardest to go to the gym for the first 2 weeks. But after that, after the first month, it becomes part of your habits, part of your routine, part of who you are. Therefore, it's not, oh, am I going to go to the gym today? It's, when am I going to go to the gym today? What time am I going to go? How am I going to get there? How am I going to eat healthy even though I'm traveling on the road all day? How am I going to get my protein in? Not, am I going to get my protein in? Because the identity changes. But you don't get to that new identity until you chase your fear, which is, all fear is your current identity's worst nightmare. Right? Your current identity has certain fears because it makes it uncomfortable and because you're growing out of it. So if you want to get out of your current identity, if you're not happy with your life in whatever way, you have to face you have to not face your fears. You do have to face your fears, but you have to chase them. You have to keep going. You have to keep building off the momentum of facing your fears, or else it's going to be a waste of time and you go back to who you were. Because just going to the gym once doesn't get you your dream physique. It's over and over and over and over and over again. It's being uncomfortable a million times. Then you get there. For example, I took cold calls today, like sales calls, for the first time in a long time for my business. And dude, I feel uncomfortable. I feel anxious. I love talking to people. I've been in sales a long time, but when you don't cold call for a while, you feel like that nervousness, anxiety feeling. But it's like, dude, I made the first phone call, first guy hung up on me. Didn't even get like anything in. He just, hung up. And for some reason, I felt amazing. I felt really good. I felt like I just conquered something, even though I got nothing out of the call. And it's because I faced my fear. But if I just stopped right there, that was it, did one cold call, got hung up on, and then went back to how I usually live my life, nothing would have happened. Because the muscle doesn't get built from doing one rep, right? You don't get a big bicep from one rep. It's over time, stimulation, rep after rep after rep. And I use that momentum, that feeling good that I had in a moment, to make a ton more cold calls. And after that, I felt amazing. Then I went to the gym, hit leg day. And I could feel like the confidence. I could feel just a different aura about me because I didn't just face my fears, I chased them. I kept going after that feeling of fear and conquering it. And on the other side of fear is this amazing feeling that you only get when you do that hard thing that you're afraid of. And that's the sad part. So many people live in fear, in their current identity, because their fears are stronger than them. But it's all mental. Your fears are nothing. Your fears are just like made up constructs in your mind. And then once you like do the fear, like for example, do the cold call, go to the gym, you realize how like simple and easy it is. You realize how the monster under the bed wasn't that scary. But like I said, the most important thing, if you get anything from this video, is face your fears, but keep going. Don't waste that momentum. You feel amazing when you face your fears. It's the best feeling on the world, but you got to keep going. Use that momentum to face bigger and bigger and bigger fears. Chase those fears, because the more fear you chase, the better your life gets. It's an absolute fact. You're always going to have fears, but if you just keep chasing them and not thinking and well, that seems like, scary. Like, if you're afraid of something, do it. I'm telling you, it's an amazing feeling, and it'll just take you to places you never thought were possible, because we're limitless human beings. Like we're limitless beings. Like God created us in His image because we're co-creators with the world. We create our own world. We create our own reality. But it's up to you to not be afraid to do that. To not be afraid to put yourself out there, be vulnerable. And the craziest part is, like I said, when you do it, when you do finally work up the courage, you realize that fear that held you back for weeks, months, years was absolutely nothing. It was nothing like you thought it was. It just becomes a bigger and bigger monster in your mind the longer you hold it as a fear. So face fears, figure out, write down 3 to 5 things you're afraid of, do them. And then don't stop, keep going. Keep building off that momentum. For example, cold calls. If you're afraid if you feel any anxiety or stress or worry, fear about cold calling, literally, and it's not even part of your job, literally just make up a business, find businesses you can call, local businesses, and fucking call them. You don't have anything to sell them, but just like, hey, I was wondering, you need a website? Click, dude, you feel good. The anticipation and the fear and the nerves before the call are going to be eating you alive. But while that phone's ringing, it's ringing, you're going to be like, the answer, you might choke up a little bit, you might stutter, but that's the first call. They say that the phone gets lighter as you dial for a reason, because that first call is the hardest. But then after that, you feel that momentum, you feel good, you just face the fear, and you keep going with that momentum. And who knows, if you make up a business, maybe like you find a guy who actually needs something and you can actually do it, all of a sudden you're rich because you faced a fear. Or you start a business because you face a fear. I'm telling you, I'm not perfect. I have a lot of fears. But I had this realization today, making those cold calls for the first time in a while, that like, dude, there's no reason to be limited in your life from fear. And too many people like face their fears and then go back to how they were. They go backwards. Like they I finally did it, yes. And then they don't do anything with the momentum. They go back to how they were living. Face your fear and keep going that way. Keep chasing the fear. It'll suck in the beginning, but trust me, that momentum, that feeling, that feel-good feeling, and that confidence you get from facing fears and knowing that nothing can stop you, there's really no limits on your life other than made up shit in your head, that is when you just propel and grow at a rate you never thought were possible. Like, think about it, if you chase your fears, you're gonna grow at an exponential rate faster than anyone in mankind. Because that's how you grow. You seek discomfort. And the more fears you overcome, the more uncomfortable you are, the more you grow. All of a sudden, you're an insanely different person in 3 months, let alone a year. So, chase your fears. Don't just face them. And when you conquer a fear, you feel amazing. You get confidence. You can do anything on this planet. It's just on the other side of fear. Don't be afraid. Love you guys. Comment, like, subscribe. Peace.